lot of respect that I require around my home. Vice versa, though.
AJ want everything. I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Know when my mother getting over now, it's got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm
like Manny
going
Fresh.
for and I'm right saying.
On the tiny
I
thing.
give it all to
Yeah.
this mic stand. If it's been done before, then I know I can. I'm on the rise, I'm trying to
your
keep
man
a
how to
level
swap.
head. She want my time, she begging me to give me. I'd rather shed blood to the
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. My brothers, what's going on? How y'all doing today, man?
What's the dealie, bro? Oh, man, just trying to survive in this heat.
It's hot.
It's hot, bro.
It's hot. It ain't that southern heat, but we got that Southern California heat.
It's hot. The sun is out.
It's hot.
You know, it's blue skies out here. Ain't nowhere to hide from it.
The sun is borderline disrespectful.
Borderline disrespectful.
Hey, look. So that's actually gonna lead us right into our episode. I want to kind of talk about disrespect. Like, how do you guys handle disrespect? What does disrespect actually look like to you? And how do you make it as objective rather than subjective as possible, to where you can give somebody an example of the situation and they can look at it and be like, nah, that was disrespectful.
Are we talking about disrespect inside your relationship or disrespect from anyone in general?
I'm glad you asked. This is our show, so I want you to give me examples for both. Or stories.
Okay.
We like story
so
time around here too.
How do I feel about disrespect? I think I feel the same way most people feel about disrespect. We don't want to be disrespected. How do I handle it? Now, I can admit that I think I'm a pretty emotional, intelligent person. I think I'm a pretty emotionally mature person, right? I regulate my emotions in a good, I have control over my emotions. But we all have flaws. And I can say that I don't handle disrespect well, right? I know most people say they don't handle disrespect well, but when I say that, man, I can be this composed person, I can be this articulate person, and I can communicate properly. But a lot of times, in my experience, when I am disrespected, all that gets thrown out the window, right? And I kind of just go into disrespect back, right? And especially my relationship, right? It doesn't happen often, but I can recall moments in my relationship where, not that it was intentional, but my woman may have disrespected me. You know what I'm saying? And I think everyone has gone through a moments where they felt disrespect. I don't think you could go through relationships without feeling like that. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't represent your entire relationship, but people have weak points, right? And I feel like, in my experience, my woman is disrespecting me before. I think it was unintentional. She was emotional, and my immediate reaction was, okay, disrespect back, right? And I think a lot of people look at our show and they think like,
It's nice and neat.
You guys are nice and neat, and you guys know all the right things to say to a woman, and where can I find men like you? But nah, my thing was, okay, you disrespect me, I disrespect you. You say fuck me, I say fuck you. That was kind of, I wasn't mature enough to not do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was always of the mindset, right? And I know this is not good. Always of the mindset. It's like, hey, yo, I'm going to make you cry before you make me cry, right? You going to cry before me, right? So I'm going to say anything, if you come at me with something hurtful, I'm going to come at you with something 3 times as hurtful, right? And I'm willing to go there until you stop. Right? I've been that person, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I've dealt with disrespect. So yeah, that's kind of my, it's different now. Sometimes I've learned to just kind of let things be, right? But yeah, I've definitely had that experience with disrespect for sure.
Yeah, I think we all have. My feelings towards being disrespected is just like Duke said, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I more so come from the perspective of, I wouldn't disrespect you, so please don't disrespect me. Please don't disrespect me. He touched on, the dynamic between him and his woman. And I'll talk about the dynamic between me and just another male. For me to feel disrespected in that situation, or times that I have felt disrespected, it's almost when like the circumstances got physical. Like a man can't really say too much to me to make me feel disrespected. And if he does, for me, luckily, I've been able to make the right decisions. You know what I mean? I don't, unless I start to feel threatened, that's when I truly start to feel disrespected. And I don't know how I just connected being threatened and feeling disrespected to the same, but I think just like Duke, I'm pretty sure like yourself, like a lot of men listening and watching, once you feel that disrespect, you're gonna meet it, with that same type of resistance. And it's tricky because it's like now he's being disrespectful, I'm being disrespectful, but really I'm being spiteful. You know what I mean? And I'm turning that disrespect into something completely different. But it's something that I think you got to be evilly provoked or thought-provoking, like with evil thoughts, to even think about disrespecting someone, to think about doing something that would actually hurt yourself and putting that onto someone else. I think you got to be in a very, very interesting place, a dark place. Like I've never heard anyone say, yo, Duke disrespected me. I never heard anyone say, yo, Jalon disrespected me. You know what I mean? So I find it rare that anyone would say that about
disrespected me, yeah.
About myself too. You know what I mean? And I think you just got to be in a different type of place to actually bring that to the forefront for you or for someone else. But I don't receive it lightly. I don't take it lightly. And
I'm gonna ask you guys, do you guys look at disrespect with intent? Is disrespect something that has to be intentional, that somebody's deliberately doing, or can someone accidentally be disrespectful to you?
If someone doesn't know you, doesn't understand the totality of Jalon, yeah, they could disrespect you. But I think more so that probably come from someone you know, because they know.
Right.
They know.
Right,
they know what you
exactly.
believe in. They know what you think. They know how you feel. So I think that it is intentional. It is some intent. It's a lot of intention behind being disrespectful. Right. You actually think about that shit, man. It's not a regular thought to disrespect someone. So it's got to be some intention behind it.
Absolutely. Like to disrespect somebody is like, hey, yo, I'm actually intentionally trying to hurt you or hurt your feelings or belittle you or make you feel small, right? Knowing I know who you are, knowing I know you take pride in who you are, knowing I know you take pride in conducting yourself a certain way, I'm going to dismiss all that and I'm going to treat you this way, right? That's disrespect. If I don't know you and we don't have no decorum of how I should be treated and you don't understand like language and tone and all these things because we just don't have that relationship, it's hard to gauge disrespect. A lot of people that feel disrespected on social media if I say something. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys that was feel, hey yo, hey you running real slow, and you need to run faster. You're running slow right now. People will say that's disrespect, but like that's just a fact, right? Like shit like that. So I don't consider every ounce of criticism is not necessarily disrespect.
Not at all.
Right? Disrespect is intentionally trying to like belittle me and just make me feel small and just like, bring me some type of emotional, physical harm, knowing that, I'm against that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
So with you saying it has to be something that's intentional, you don't think you can be a bystander to disrespect?
What do you mean? Can you
so for example, both of you guys have women, fiancés. Both of you guys have fiancés. Let's say somebody doesn't know that this is your person, right? And they kind of just stand in, let's say you guys are out at an event somewhere and somebody doesn't know that this is your person and they kind of grab her, right?
Correct.
You're going to feel disrespected, correct? But they don't know you, and that was an impulse that came over you in order to act in that space. So in being a bystander in disrespect, that isn't intentional.
It's not intentional. It's not. Yeah, I don't think that's intentional, and I really don't think that's disrespect.
Okay.
I was gonna
I don't
say
think
the
that's
same.
disrespect because like let's say I was across the room or somewhere and I wasn't with my woman. I saw a nigga try to talk to her, right? I would have a jealousy about me. Then I go over and intervene and be like, nah, this is my woman. You can't talk to her, right? Something like that, right? That's not disrespect because
He didn't know.
he don't know. But I can still have that same feeling though. I can still have the same feeling because there's a feeling of jealousy or a feeling of protection.
But that's not disrespect, though.
But it's not
That's
disrespect.
not disrespect, though.
You understand?
So feeling disrespected
It's different. It's
is
different.
different than actually being disrespected.
Well, I'm saying that the feeling disrespected doesn't even apply to that situation, right? But I can still have a emotional reaction to that action because I'm protective of my woman or my fiance. Even if it's not disrespect, I would never be like, oh, he tried to disrespect me. But I tell you what, though, you would still a guy would try to get at your woman, right? And you understand that, okay, my woman is a beautiful woman. This guy's probably single. We're in this place where men try to get at women, right? You will understand these things, and I bet your energy would change towards him because he tried to get at your woman.
Yeah. You
Even though it had nothing to do with you, I bet your energy changes towards him. I bet it's not like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, it's all good. Like, nah.
Nah.
You try to get at my woman, regardless if it's innocent or not. Like, that's just the energy I come with. So in that case, it's all about protection and just like, hey, yo, this is, I'm territorial by my woman.
Yeah.
So let's break down the difference between feeling disrespected, because I think it's safe to say feeling disrespected will operate more on a subjective part of disrespect, right? Okay, feeling disrespected and actually being disrespected. What are the difference in those two?
Actually being disrespected, someone knows all the parameters. They know you in and out. They don't know you in and out, but they know you well enough to know that, hey, if I lash out at Jalan, or if I make a pass at his woman, or I don't know, if I leave trash at his business, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, to me, that goes classified as being disrespectful. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I don't think the other, what was it?
Feeling disrespected.
Feeling disrespected is like, feelings are involved. That's the root of it, bro. Like, your feelings aren't reality. It's a lot of what's going on internally in your head. So, like, it's all what's going on inside of your head. So I could feel disrespected just because of something that happened in the past, something that triggered me. That doesn't mean that you decided to disrespect me, right? So, am I making sense?
Yeah, go on.
I'm tracking. I'm
Keep
tracking
going.
you. I'm tracking you.
Yeah.
Hold on. So like this, right? I keep it simple right now. Feeling disrespected is O's trying to talk right now, right? Or O got something to say, right? This is our platform, but I'm just talking to you because I'm just getting my stuff off, right? And I'm just ignoring what he's talking about. Even though he got something to say, I don't know that, but all I'm doing is talking to you. He may say like, damn, dog, you intentionally not letting me speak, right? You know I'm right here. You know I'm part of this conversation, but you're not letting me get a word in. So he could feel disrespectful. He could feel disrespected if he senses that like, hey, yo, I'm a part of this and I'm not allowed to speak, which means that this nigga's probably thinking really small of me, right? The feeling of me actually disrespecting him is me seeing he about to speak and cutting him off intentionally because I don't give a fuck what he want to say.
So what if that's the story he creates in his head?
That's valid though, but we're talking about feeling,
Right.
right?
Because I think even in being disrespected, feeling is involved heavily.
Correct. So like you can't whether you feel disrespected or you disrespected, feeling is definitely involved. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, the first example I gave, that's what I would consider feeling disrespected. But if he says, and if he comes to me and says, yo, I felt disrespectful with what you was doing, I go, oh, my bad, bro. I apologize.
Gotcha.
That's what I was going
Right?
to say too, though.
My bad, bro. I didn't even mean that. So he could feel that. But I can't say, my bad, bro, I didn't mean to when it's known. If I see him, nah, cutting him off. I'm cutting him off. My bad, bro. Nah, you disrespecting me. I know you disrespecting me. That's a difference.
I think what's important too in that situation, for if I am feeling disrespected, is to address it too. Like, we can't feel disrespected and just deal with that internally and not let the other person know. Like, I gotta make it very clear. Hey, bro, that right there is crossing the line with me. You know what I mean?
Got you.
I gotta let it be known. So clearly, it must be clear. You don't understand, or we haven't created the boundary of what disrespect looks like in our relationship. So I got to step up and say something, because I don't think any of us should tolerate with disrespect. And again, that person may not feel that they're doing it. You know what I mean? And they have to be aware. So I feel like if we are feeling disrespected, if we are disrespected in the moment, you got to, and it's tough too, because when you're feeling disrespected, your feelings are involved. Now your emotions are raging, right? So you may not be thinking as clearly, right? But if you could take a second and then address it, I think that shit is important, because both people got to know like where we stand in terms of disrespect.
All right, let's turn it up a little bit, right? Because the way I look at disrespect, if it's blatant like that, truth be told, I do meet disrespect with spite. I do, right? But that's why I'm very, very cautious in what I call disrespect. I'm not as evolved as I would like to be in that space. So I'm very, very cautious on what I call disrespect and what I don't. So it's a lot of things that may happen that somebody feel like that I should get my feathers ruffled up for, that it's just like, nah, I'm not going to let that affect me, right? Like, just like an example, this is a hypothetical example. This is not something that happened. If you have a house and you just like, hey, yo, when you walk in my house, I want you to take off your shoes, right? Let's say somebody thought you was joking. They walked in, they come and they sit on your couch and, you know, they don't take off their shoes. All right, like, wow, this fool's wilding, right? I'm like if I see it twice, it's disrespect kind of guy. Not always the first time, right? So now, but when I say if I see it twice, it's now in my hands and I can handle it however I want to now. So now you come in my house and I see you got shoes on. As soon as I get an opportunity to make sure I can dispose of these shoes, I'm going to do it.
Nah.
You see why that?
You would have addressed it though before that.
No,
you
we
would
can
have
address
addressed
it
it when he was sitting on the couch
this
with
is
the
the thing.
shoes.
We
You know what I
address
mean?
it, right? We address it, and I'm saying the understanding of it twice is like, hey, yo, take off your shoes. Cool. You sit down. I address it, and you don't. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You not listening. So therefore, I need to show you that I don't tolerate that at all, like not one bit. And that is a very, very spiteful way of going about things. But that's why I don't classify.
This is an example though.
This is an example.
Yeah, so in that case,
This is an
I
example.
understand that it's what you basically saying is like, hey yo, if you disrespect me by coming to my house, I'm gonna take it further to you. I'm gonna throw your shoes out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw your shoes out.
So you can really, really understand, like, hey, yo,
Right.
he don't play with that.
Yeah.
He don't play with that.
And you can't say, oh, you took it too far because I gave you 2 chances to
Nah.
correct it.
That's why I don't classify anything that could be potentially subjective as disrespect. If I say something was disrespectful, people will be like, oh, he was tripping. I tell somebody that's third, but I wouldn't even have let him do it the second time. That's how understanding of disrespect I truly am. So it's like something can't be almost disrespectful to me and I consider it disrespectful, right? Like I use the example specifically to see if you consider a dude hollering at your chick as disrespectful. It's not.
It's not.
It's not. And I'm glad you guys said that. It's not. It's
No,
not.
it's not
It
disrespectful.
could conjure up a feeling, but
Yeah,
it's not
it's not
disrespectful.
disrespectful.
And I think a lot of people, honestly, what I wanted to get to was I feel like a lot of people use the word disrespect out of context. A lot of times, because something made them feel a certain type of way or something made them feel uncomfortable, they would say that was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And that's not how you classify disrespect.
Right.
You guys tracking me?
So like, go ahead.
So like, I don't classify if somebody is, if I'm like a bystander, like of disrespect, right? Which I do think is possible. You can be a bystander of disrespect, but if I'm a bystander of disrespect, I have to confront it and understand like this was something that was intentional, right? So like, I'm all fresh out of examples right now.
No, I got you.
But like, I would have to see that this is disrespectful, and the person would have to know that this is disrespectful as well.
Right, because what's being communicated, right? So like, yo, if he talks to my girl, it's not disrespectful unless he knows that this is my girl.
Correct.
If he didn't know, it was low-key respectful.
And yo, if he knows that this is my girl, right, then he's trying to disrespect me in my relationship. That's disrespectful. That's completely different. You know what I mean? And I think that when you are on, like, when you agree on something and you go against what you agreed on, that's when it really becomes disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, yo, we know that you can't call a man a bitch. Don't call a man a bitch. If you call a man a bitch, you can't be like, that's my play word. You can't do that.
Why are we so
Moved by the word.
moved by the word?
I don't know. That's a conversation we can have, but I'm just giving an example.
I got you.
If you call a man bitch, pussy, whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like if you call me Omar, and I don't want to be called Omar,
And you being funny.
and you being funny,
It.
that's
You being
right. We
disrespectful.
understand that. So
Yeah.
like, it doesn't even matter what the word is. It's just that we are in unison about what I don't like,
Yep.
or what's not acceptable for me, right? And we've agreed on that because of either we communicated, or either we just spent enough time around each other to understand that. You know what I'm saying? We've seen each other's habits.
Yeah.
We talked about different situations, and we understand. So anytime you go against that, I'm gonna consider that disrespectful, right? So like, especially in my relationship, right? If we talk to your woman, it's like, hey yo, here's a couple of things that I do not play with, right?
Yeah.
I'm not negotiating with this, right?
Yeah.
Hey yo, I don't like being talked to this way. You cannot speak to me in this type of tone. You can't call me this. You can't do X, Y, Z, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Okay, those things are laid out. Okay, babe, what are some things that's disrespectful to you? Yo, I don't want you flirting with women.
Yep.
I don't want you to do this. These are things that we've laid out and we understand, right? Very, very clear cut, black and white. So
When we go outside of that,
when we do something, yeah. So like when we go outside of there, or we do one of those things that we've both disclosed to each other that we do not play with, right? That is being disrespectful.
Yep.
Even if it's one time.
yep.
Because it's there, it's clear now. So now the problem for me again, right, is that disrespect most of the time, like, well, it can be, but if disrespect is one of those things that I've talked about, then it's not an accident. Right? If it's one of those things we made clear and you disrespect, it's not an accident.
It was
It's
intentional.
not an accident. It's intentional. Now, if it's when it's intentional, then I go there. Right? And
So you're saying like your partner could only disrespect you if there's something new that pops up. Like
my partner can never disrespect me, but if my partner
When he said can, he's not saying like has the ability to. He's saying it's not acceptable.
yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like but like what I'm saying is that if there is something that we've never talked about, and then she does something, I can't assume. I can't.
You can't say that was
I can't
disrespectful.
quantify that as disrespect
That's subjective.
because now it's just assumption and it's subjective, and we never even discussed it, right? We can use that as a foundation to discuss and put that in the black and white, circle or whatever. But until that happens, I can feel a type of way though. I can feel offended.
yeah.
It's two different things, right? Offended and disrespect. I could feel uneasy. I could feel bothered.
I like
Right?
that. I like
feeling,
that.
Feeling offended and disrespected is two different things. I could feel bothered, but it's not disrespect because we didn't have that discussion, right? Until we had a discussion and then you step outside of that, that's when it's disrespect.
So
right?
how do we navigate when we are disrespected by our partner?
Yes. So go ahead, bro.
I think even in that, how do we navigate the difference between creating a conversation off of being offensive,
Or being disrespectful?
disrespected? Like, how do we make the safe space to be like, hey, that was offensive to me,
Right.
and then now I want to put that in the disrespectful bucket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, how do we effectively do that?
Because sometimes it's not always in the moment.
No.
Sometimes you gotta take a second. You gotta think. You're like,
Hey, yo.
I had to sit with that for a second.
Yeah.
I actually felt really disrespected by that.
Correct.
And that shit actually that doesn't align with.
Well, you felt offended by that.
Excuse me. I felt offended by that. And I think we need to talk about this because that could.
And that's good though. That's good because you create boundaries, right?
Yep.
So and you give people direction on how to behave. You know what I mean? So like when something happens and you say, "Hey, listen," because this how it should sound when you're offended. Hey, babe, look, I don't know if you meant it like this, but I didn't like that. Right? And that rubbed me the wrong way, or offended me, or bothered me, or I felt some type of way about whatever the case may be, however you want to slice it, right? But you make that known. Hey, I really don't like that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even know you saw it like that. Well, yeah, I don't like so. Could you never do it again? All right, yeah, I won't do it again because I don't like that. All right, it's not disrespect yet. So now I've introduced something that now I've made it clear and known that, hey, yo, this thing that you did offends me. I don't like it. We're understood. We confirmed.
We're confirmed.
We're confirmed that I don't like it. You understand? Do you understand why I don't like it? We're confirmed. All right. So therefore, moving forward, that shouldn't happen again. If it happens again, it's because you're being intentional about it now.
Yeah.
Right. Which then is disrespect. Right. Which now I'm liable to respond as I'm being disrespected. You get what I'm saying? Because I can't just like now I'm not gonna bring it back to you and say, oh, babe, that offended me again. Because you don't learn no lesson. You don't learn no lesson like that. So now just my inclination is like, nah, listen, hey, are you fucking stupid? You know what I'm saying?
Now,
like,
now you're talking like that.
Now I'm talking like that, like, hey yo, like I told you don't do that again, right? So now we're doing the back and forth thing and it could just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? But I think that to prevent us getting to that point, like you said, when it happens, address it.
But again, it may not be in the moment. It may not be in the moment because sometimes you gotta take that and sit with what was happened, what transpired, what was said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, because also too in the moment your emotions could be hot. You won't say the right thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna say something disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful
And also like sometimes to go deeper, right? Sometimes being offended and being bothered by something is different too. You know what I mean? Because like just because you bothered by it don't mean it's offending you. You may just not like something.
Yep.
Right? I don't really address things that like just bothered me. Because when I think about things that bother me, I think about, yo, is this bad for us? If it's not bad for us and it's just making me feel a type of way, then like I probably could forget about that. I probably won't think about it. But the things I address, when you offend me, I'm thinking, oh no, this is bad for us because I don't like the way this makes me feel, which could be bad for us in the long run. So let me address this because I feel like this could have an impact on us. If there's something that's just bothering me that's small, it's like, yo, like I don't really like the way you, I don't really like you leaving the dishes in the sink. Things like that, that's not going to impact us. I could say something about it, but it's not going to be no big deal, right? But things that offend me, yes.
You know, I think it's a space of comparison that I think is really dangerous when you think about disrespect. Because I think people's first thing to think about is, I would never do that to you. So that was disrespectful. And like, I know in my relationship, we've had to have conversations like, hey, yo, if you always compare what you will and will not do to somebody, nobody will ever be good enough for you. Because it's you. The barometer is you. So if I say, hey, yo, Duke, I wouldn't do this, so therefore, because I wouldn't do it, you doing it makes it disrespectful to me, I'm not even giving you the space to, like, communicate why I think that is, like, why you think it's not disrespectful or why you even made the action. So, like, to compare a dude walking, right? A dude walking, and this is a great example. You've been to Asia before.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been to Asia before, right? The amount of space that we give you in America, what's the difference to the amount of space they give you in Asia?
What do you mean space?
Space, like bodily space. It's literal space.
Bodily space? Oh, they're more on top of you.
Exactly, right? We would consider that disrespect here because it's a hey, yo, you know better. Like, don't be on me like
you're in my
that,
space. You're in my
right?
personal bubble.
Now, if you go over there and you carry that same exact demeanor off like, yo, I don't be on you like that. Why y'all on me? I don't think that's fair. No. And I think those are the things that we do a lot of times, especially in our relationship, to where we consider our partners being disrespectful instead of just having a conversation on how something made us feel. You know, like I have conversations all the time with Brittany about using our I statements. Like, yo, rather than you creating a declaration of who I am, tell me how you feel. Yeah. Hey, I felt this way in this situation, rather than, Duke, you're selfish. Jalan, you're selfish. Like, nah, what did I do to make you feel like that? I was like, I was tired today and I would have really appreciated if you washed the dishes. And I was tired today, rather than, yo, you're selfish for not washing the dishes.
Right. You didn't even explain to me how you were feeling. And
I didn't know.
All of a sudden you throwing that on me.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. But that's what the underlying understanding that we use comparisons in order to make our point. I would have washed the dishes if I was feeling this way. I didn't know you was feeling that way. I had no idea.
We also aren't the same people.
And that's why I'm saying using comparisons is definitely dangerous when you're creating what is disrespectful and what's not disrespectful. That's why me personally, it takes so long for me to get to a space of this person disrespected me, because I have to observe this. I have to be able to make sense of it and know that you are very cognitive and aware of what you're doing. Even to a point of me using the example, hey, yo, somebody walked in my house and they didn't kick their shoes off, and I had to remind them, and it was like, oh, my bad. I wouldn't then turn my back and be like, man, you know better to have shoes on in my house. Like, nah, I could have just slipped your mind. I don't know what kind of day you had.
Not at all.
I don't know if you take off your shoes at your house. So this might be something that's completely outside of your wheelhouse. So it is my duty to have that conversation or to even remind you or let you know. I feel like we get into a space of you should know rather than, hey, yo, like, let me see like where they at. That's why I really look at disrespect is, yo, you know where we at with it.
Yep.
It can't be any, yo, you should know better. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you're around people who you feel like should know better that's not doing it, then you're going to have to, and they're not doing it, then you just got to elevate the person that you're around. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll give you an example, right? It was my birthday. You were in season. Omar, you was home. No. All you guys were in season. Excuse me. You guys were in season. So like y'all wasn't there, right? This is night. I go out. It's my birthday. I get lit, right? One of my partners that's there, I tell him like, hey, bruh, I need you to make sure I get home. I'm sober enough to tell him this. I need you to make sure I get home, right? He's like, all right, for sure. Next thing I know, I get into the Uber, I black out. I wake up. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm on the street, right? And I'm just like, yo, like, what happened? Didn't have the time to sit down and, like, figure out what happened. I just made sure I got home. My phone was on 3%. So I was like, let me go ahead and call an Uber so I can get home. Right, I get home. I wake up in the morning. I call, bruh, dog, why didn't you make sure I get home? He said, I did. I said, nah, I asked you if you could take me home. Like, I was lit, and I came to you and asked you if you could get me home. He's like, I called you an Uber. Right? He was like, I felt like I did everything that I could. And I sat there and I thought about it for a second after we got off of the phone because it wasn't enough for me. And I was like, you know what, Jelon? If that wasn't enough for you and it was enough for him, you just can't be in that situation with a person that's like that. Plain and simple. Moving forward, I told O this story, right? We go out one day, we get lit. I'm lit. I wasn't that level of lit, but I'm lit. But O knows how I felt about this story. We ride all the way to my house. He like, yo, you good? Cool. I get out, go upstairs. He goes home. I gave him a call the next day and was like, yo, I appreciate that, right? Him knowing the story, him understanding how I felt about that in that space. Now, if he did the same exact thing, I would then deem that as disrespect because I felt like Buddy was disrespectful for that. Mm-hmm. Right? But I also couldn't put the label of disrespect on him because he felt like he did enough. So it was just offensive to me. Mm-hmm. But after me and Omar talked, Omar understood how I felt. We understood where we was at. We knew how we was going to move in those situations. So like from there, I was like, oh, I just have to make sure I'm in people that are in alignment with what I feel like is disrespectful and what I feel like is not disrespectful. So like that was one of those situations where I'm like, I just didn't like that.
Yep.
He felt like he did enough. I can't make anybody feel like they're doing more than what they're doing outside of their own wheelhouse. So like I feel like even the same in relationship, not necessarily within your partner, but just any relationship you have with somebody. If you feel like somebody's doing something disrespectful, if every time I come to your house and I got my shoes on, I just can't come to your house no more.
Yeah.
It's just
because you're not respecting the house.
Yeah, I'm not respecting the house.
Yeah.
Right? To you, right? To me, it's like, oh man, what's the big deal? I wear shoes at my house.
Yeah, but just like you said, you got to understand where you at. You know, as you were asking me that story about Asia, I'm thinking about, damn, I've been to Singapore and like doing something as simple as spitting on the floor that you would do here, like hawking a loogie, is dumb, disrespectful. You know what I mean? But you don't know. You don't understand. But like, I've been in South Africa before and running the water. Like to get in the shower, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I do here in America. I turn on the water, but understanding that that's actually disrespectful. You wasting water. We don't do that type of thing. Like, but you got to understand, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? So is it disrespectful? Nah, but now that I know, and if I do it again, of course, yeah, you being dumb, disrespectful, bro. You know what I mean? You crossing the line. So you definitely got to be aware of where you're at, who you're around, and you got to respect the rules of where you at. You know what I mean? To me, that makes common sense. I'm just going to respect the house. You respect the house everywhere. You respect, everywhere.
Just respect the house. And I just feel like if somebody's saying like, nah, I'm not going to do that, then you're like, okay, now I can say this is disrespectful. Yeah. Hey, yo, if I call you every time I see you, hey, what up, B? And you're like, yo, my name is Dude. Yeah, all right, B. You're being disrespectful now.
Yeah.
Like, right, I don't care.
You're disregarding.
Yeah, you're disregarding how I felt.
And we both know what I want to be called. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why it's just like, and even like disrespect has so many layers, man. So whether you feel disrespected by your woman or just someone out in public, I think we got to ask ourselves this question before we react: am I being disrespected or am I just offended? All right. Is it really disrespectful, or do I just not like what I'm hearing, or I'm just bothered by what someone is doing, or am I just misinterpreting it the wrong way? Right? That's what we got to ask ourselves, because I would admit, like, I've taken disrespect and I've just reversed it and went somewhere else with it. And I don't think, like, I literally met disrespect with disrespect and took it further and felt worse after. Mm-hmm. I've never felt better about myself.
Now, you're not going to feel good disrespecting somebody, bro.
I've never felt better about myself. Now, like, especially not my woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in order for that not to happen, yes, we got to talk things out. Yes, we got to communicate. Yes, we got to make sure that she doesn't disrespect me, so I don't disrespect her. But a part of it is just like trying to learn how to deal with disrespect in a more mature manner and saying, you know what, like, you disrespected me, I'm gonna come back to you in a little bit, right? After my emotions and my ego, because a lot of it be my ego.
Yep.
Most of it be my ego. Is like, no, how she dare disrespect me? Mm-hmm. After all I be doing, after how I be holding it down for her, she gonna disrespect me like that? It's ego, right? So once I get that under control, then I come back to it and say, hey, yo, look, this is the last time you're gonna disrespect me. I can't do this no more, right? Or, and let's talk about that. Or that needs to change, something like that. But, and you said spiteful. Y'all said spiteful. I don't think it's spiteful. I think it's
to do something back, disrespectful back. It's
I don't think it's spite. I think,
but that's tit for tat, though.
Cool, but I think spiteful is like, I could be spiteful without being disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could really get at me and you could call me all types of names and I could stay quiet. Mm-hmm. I could stay quiet.
I keep going.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I could stay quiet, and when we get back to the house, when we get back to the house, like, I don't know, lock you outside or something like that, right? It don't have to be disrespectful. So, but I think
you saying just
you could be spiteful.
Disrespect.
You could be spiteful without being disrespectful. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think people will understand that more though.
Yep.
Right? Like, okay, I deserve this, right? But I think disrespect is more of a, nah, this person tried to hurt me. I'm trying to hurt them now. Mm-hmm. I have to return it.
I have to
return it, because if I don't return it, I don't think no one respects, like, consequence, like returning it. The same pain that they cause, you cause back, people don't respect. Unless you do that, people don't respect that. I'm not saying that's right.
I don't believe that.
I'm not saying that's right. What you mean you don't believe it?
I don't believe that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've actually never met disrespect with disrespect
You've never met
in my
disrespect
relationship.
In your relationship?
Oh yeah.
Never. I've never, because I can be a nasty person.
Yeah.
I can be very, very nasty. So like, me, it's like, I don't even want to play the game, because like, you open up that can of worms for me. It's like, I have to turn off a certain aspect of like who I am or
But when
how
you say
I
you don't
care
agree with, what
in order to do it.
what don't you agree with?
I don't agree that meeting disrespect with disrespect is effective understanding of consequences.
Okay.
So I've actually met disrespect with more love,
Okay.
truth be told. So it could be like, hey, yo, like, this is how I want to be spoken to. Like, I've been yelled at, and it's like, hey, why are we speaking to each other like this right now?
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to meet you there.
Right.
Like, I'm not. And
Right.
that's specifically talking with my partner.
your partner, yep.
Right? Now, if I feel disrespected out or somebody who knows me, I'll probably meet that with spite. But I'm not going to meet it with the same disrespect because I need to be a little bit more calculated. I don't think you could think as deep as I can when it comes to like, oh, okay, you disrespected me on the fly. Okay, cool. That you thought you got me in the moment. Okay, cool. I'm going to give you, I don't care if I got to wait. This is very spiteful. I don't care if I got to wait 10 years.
You getting it back.
I'm going to get it back.
You're getting it back.
That's why I don't really play with the, hey, he disrespected me.
Right.
If I say that, that means like, I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not as evolved as I want to be in that space.
Same.
I'm not. I wish like, but I protect my spirit so much.
I heard.
I protect it so much that if I feel disrespected and it penetrates my bubble, I just like, okay, you know what? However long it takes for me to, like, and I know you said it don't make you feel better afterwards.
Right.
I don't agree with that either.
What don't make you?
You say it makes you feel better?
If I'm gonna go there,
It makes you feel better once you...
if I'm going to go there, because it's just
Not with your partner though.
no, I don't
makes no
participate in
sense.
that. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, before I meet my partner with the same disrespect that I
Right.
might have felt, I'll have to leave the relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be good for me. So like when it comes to my partner, I meet the disrespect that I might have felt really with love or with a mirror of what I would have wanted that situation to look like. And I'm not trying to be funny, and this is not on no nice and neat shit either. Like, I'm serious. That's really, really just like how I meet the situation with my partner because I know how nasty I could be. So it's like,
Yeah.
You meet that at a really like beautiful place, bro, because not everyone has the patience to kind of meet disrespect with love. You know what I mean? Like it's really tough to.
it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard to be
hard.
disrespected, bro, and
hard.
keep composure, have some poise about yourself. You know what I mean? And meet it with an opposite reaction.
Honestly, for me, it's like, I think everything has to have a goal. I'm a very goal-oriented person, right? So I don't meet disrespect because I know, cool, when our children get here, like, how am I going to approach this? Like, what do I want them to see? What do I want them to feel? Who do I want them to be?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not just doing it for me. Like, because me, if I get disrespect, I would walk out of the house and be like, I come home when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I would meet it. But it's like, you know what? I don't want my children to see that. So let me get in the position of practicing now. And I want to practice so good now that I don't even get disrespected again. That's where it is for me, to where it's like, okay, cool. Like, she knows that I want Jelon to meet me here. He's never going to meet me here.
Right.
I tell a golden rule of thumb to every man: stay below your girl. Like, no matter what, just like stay below her.
Yeah.
She'll eventually have to come down. I don't think you ever go above her, because she could always go up octaves, like always. And it's like, yeah, you could hurt her more, but you guys are gonna be in that space.
Yeah, and that's why I said like it never feels good after, because like even though you may, what they say, you may win the battle,
You
like
lose the
you
war.
still lose the war.
You lose the war on that one, brother.
You still take a hit on, like, you know what I mean? And there's certain things when you guys are going at it that you can never get back.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
bro.
Certain lines, once you cross,
certain
they
things,
cross forever.
certain things
Yeah.
you guys say you can never get back. So that's the tricky part about it. But you know, just being transparent, man. I've been in that situation before where I was like, yo, I've been saying all the right things. I've been moving with love. I've been, you know, leading with love, leading with just, you know, warmth and all those things. And when you do all those things as a man or as a person, right? Because it can happen the other way around. But when you do all those things, and then the person that you are with is trying to push you to go somewhere that, you know, just trying to push your buttons to get you to react.
Antagonizing
You know,
yeah.
at some point it's just like, all right, let's go there.
Yep.
All right, let's go there. Let's go there one time. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just like, yo, it's not fun, but it happens. It happens. And I think that that's the humanity part about this, just what we got going on, because it ain't all just, oh yeah, babe, like it's gonna be all right, or yeah, say whatever you want, and I'm gonna just sit here and then I'm gonna rule you back in. That ain't. I mean, that's reality, but sometimes it's just not like that. And I've been on the wrong side of that before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
99.9% of the time, it's like, okay, everything that we speak about on Nice and Neat is actually implemented, but there are other times it's like, yo, like y'all just lost it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta come to the crib.
Yep.
We gotta chop it up.
I gotta come to the crib. I gotta get away because I just lost it. And it happens, man. It happens. But like I said before, man, a lot of that is because I had to just really think. And another way to look at it too, right? Because I said, yo, when you're met with disrespect, right? I said that, yo, ask yourself, is this person disrespecting me, or am I just offended? But then another question to ask is yo, is my partner, like, what's her emotional level right now? Is she just being emotional? Is she just going through her cycle? Is she just dealing with family things that she's not telling me? There's a lot of things that come into play that we don't even think about. We just take it, oh, she disrespected me, you know what I'm saying? Or he disrespected me. But a lot of times, if we just kind of slow and say, all right, let me just kind of go through this hierarchy of possibilities, right? Then by the time I even get to, oh, she is disrespecting me, I'm like, all right, well, she's disrespecting me, but like, I'm cool now. You know what I'm saying? By the time I even get there, it's just like, she is disrespecting me, but like, it took me too long to get here, so it's all good, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that'll solve a lot of situations where two people are really going there, going to a place that they can't come back from, right? In terms of, yo, this is my person. But in terms of like, hey, yo, this is a guy who's trying to get at my girl, or a guy who's disrespecting me, that's a whole complete different situation, right? You still want to try to exercise restraint, but sometimes as a man, you got to try to like make your presence felt by standing your ground, right? And that could be by how you speak to someone. That could be by your physical presence of or that could be by just fighting, right? Yeah. It could be by any of those things. So like, I think that sometimes, you want to avoid all those things, but you always want to be prepared.
I'm thinking about right now about being disrespected in public outside of my relationship by just like another man.
Oh yeah, in the relationship, I told you I'm pop.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about outside the relationship and speaking about like us, like with the public platform and being public figures, how hard the decision is, in that moment of what to do. Because it's almost like a lose-lose situation, right? Like you get disrespected, right? And if you disrespect someone back, then it's like, yo, this dude just lost his composure. Like, I can't believe he acted like that. On the other side of it, it's like, damn, if you don't do nothing, you know what I mean? And people see that, it's like, damn, he just let people disrespect him. They just let him walk over it. So it's like, how do we navigate through those situations as men? And I'm asking honestly, like, because if someone disrespect me today, it's like a little tougher because I got to think about the bigger picture. Because if I get disrespectful back and that leads to something physical, because the rage in the moment, I'm the one who's jeopardizing a lot of shit. I'm the one who's going to end up losing in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do we?
I think that's a tough one too, though. That's
tough,
a very
bro.
tough one. But I think the best thing to do, like he said, was we can't really control everything, but we can control a lot where we are, what spaces we're in, like what circles we're in, like who we're around, right? And just try to do our best to make sure that those places we're in are things that we can control. So we'll never have to be in that situation. But sometimes you may be in that situation, and sometimes you could think like, hey, yo, like, damn, I could lose this, or it's a lose-lose. But then the other thing is, yo, someone disrespect you, it ain't just about you no more, right? If they disrespect you, they're gonna try your wife, they're gonna try your kid,
man,
right? And you don't want that,
man.
So that at some point it's just like, all right, cool, it ain't about me, I can take it.
Yep.
All right, but I don't want nobody trying me and trying my family, because at some point my kid gonna grow up, my kid need to be able to, my wife need to be secure, right? And I don't care who you are, you can tell your man, like, hey, yo, don't fight, but you still want to see him like, you still want to see him press somebody a little bit, you know? You just don't want nothing bad to happen to him.
Yeah, I mean, because you're going through the channels of like, yo, I'm around people who I'm in respectful situations. I don't put myself in wild situations. I don't do these things. I feel like if it crosses your path, truthfully, I honestly believe hitting nets with sledgehammers. I truthfully believe that. Like, if you're doing all of those things to make sure it doesn't come across your table, and it does. Bro, and I say that from a space of you won't lose everything, because the track record shows like, nah, this dude did everything to stay away from that. We got plenty of examples of where people have slept people or they done certain things, and it's like the brands that they would is like, nah, we get why our client did that. Somebody grabbed his wife. No way. Like, no. If a brand dropped you for grabbing their wife, that brand it's the public shame for that brand is going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. I just feel like if you put yourself in situations constantly, bro, to be in the most upright position in your life that you can be, and you get disrespected. Like, for example, ironically, we're going to talk about Will Smith and slaps, not the one most recently, but when Will Smith was on the red carpet. And he was trying to be a good celebrity, bro, shaking people's hands, and you know, he even was like, all right, whatever. The guy want to hug me, and the guy kissed him on his mouth, and he backhanded him. He didn't get in trouble for that. He didn't get in trouble for that because the guy crossed the line.
Yep.
And then when somebody crosses the line, bro, and I still feel like he was nice about it. He was nice about it.
Yep.
But like, man, I got this from Shannon. I believe in hitting nats with sledgehammers, bro, because you set an example for anybody else who ever thought about it. Just like you talking about, you protecting your wife, you protecting your children, you protecting your legacy. This isn't just me anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, yo, I went through all these channels to make sure I don't have to do nothing disrespectful, and I got disrespected. Okay, this ends here. This is done here today. This won't happen ever again. It's certain people that we could think about that you'd be like, nah, that person will never get disrespected. And it's because of their history. Mm-hmm. That's what it's for.
Person. Nobody try that person.
Nah, you're not gonna try certain people. So like, just like for example, once Nipsey slapped Buddy who grabbed the call from him, it was over. Like it was like, oh, okay. You kind of respect them in that space. You don't cross over these lines, and you don't do certain things.
Yep.
You know, but like, I believe in that. You're a respectful guy, bro. If you have to do something to make sure you gain your respect, it's not gonna be out of your ego. It won't be. Mm-hmm. Like there is a space to where you're like, yo, I need to protect what I build.
Got to make an example.
And I got to make an example out of somebody.
Make an example of somebody.
You know, I'm not saying go out and look for it.
No. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, like I believe that's a space, and I'm sure, you know, as we have children, like I'm not gonna let somebody in class throw, you know, paper at the back of my son's head every single day.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna have to be an example eventually.
Mm-hmm. Just the example is, yo, I'm not the one.
Yep.
I'm not.
That's
however you get there. However you get there.
That's just the example.
Yep.
Like, I'm not gonna look for it, but hey, if you're looking for something,
it ain't over here.
It ain't me.
It ain't over here.
Stop looking. It ain't me. But fellas, what we got? Something else? What else we got? Anything else y'all want? Going once. Going twice, sold too long.
Let's see.
We never read off our phone. We
August. We really should.
When we first started reading.
Man.
Yeah.
That was bad. You was hot.
You should definitely be slow to anger. But I wanted to ask you guys. This was in the notes for me to ask. What type of people do you feel most disrespected by?
What type of people do you feel most disrespectful?
Quick rapid fire.
Probably my loved ones.
That's good. I'll probably say because I don't really I don't feel disrespect too often, but every now and again on my mentions, I'll see something and I'll just be like, oh, this guy's out of pocket. User 756 is out of pocket, bruh.
Yeah.
User.
Yeah, I would say like, because I rarely feel disrespect in real life.
Yeah.
It doesn't even happen in real life because I think we've done such a good job of just like, you know, walking in respectful states, right? That we kind of demand that respect from wherever we at, right? And I think people kind of receive us that way. I can't remember the last time I've been on my girl, somebody came up to me and tried me and tried us or anything like that. The only disrespect is not real. It comes off social media. It's not real disrespect. It just comes off social media. So like, that's it. That's probably where it comes from most. And even those, it'd be crazy, silly stuff.
Yeah.
Silly stuff.
Not engageable.
Nah.
Do you engage when you say you feel disrespected by the family? At times you engage, or are you kind of just like know who they are?
Most recently, I had a situation over the 4th of July where I just felt, and maybe it was like a little underappreciated too, like intertwined with disrespectful. But yeah, I had to address it. I had to talk about it because it was bothering me. It was bothering me. It was weighing heavy on me. Like I to be honest, I couldn't do nothing but talk about it. Like that was the only thing that was gonna make me feel better about the situation. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta address it. You know what I mean? You gotta address it because otherwise I'm just gonna hold on to these feelings and you're not gonna know why I'm feeling in a certain kind of way and why I'm off you. So you gotta address it. You know?
Hey, so is it it's in a sense of like, hey yo, y'all tried me, or hey y'all not respecting my time, y'all calling me too much, y'all disrespecting my time type?
Y'all disrespecting my time.
Okay, yeah.
Y'all disrespecting my time or not having enough respect for my time.
I got you. There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I can see how that could be something.
And taking advantage of.
Yeah. Fellas, is there anything else?
Okay, so fellas, if you're viewing or listening, man, August 12th, Nice and Neat is going to put on a community building event where we're going to have men sign up and apply, come get some breath work with us, do some movement / working out, and just build some fellowship. You know what I mean? Just talk, sit down and talk, have an open discussion, dialogue amongst fellas. You know what I mean? I feel like we need more safe spaces, and we want to be one of the leaders in providing that safe space for our community. So August 12th is going to be a dope event.
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
All you gotta do is sign up.
All you guys got to do is sign up. All you guys got to do is sign up. We'll drop all the information that you guys need in the description below. And I guess we'll add it in the description on the pod, so anybody who's just listening could grab that as well. Did I miss anything on that, y'all?
Light workout, right?
Yep.
Fireside chat, which means we get to have conversations and talk to you guys about our personal stories, give you guys insights, get to know you guys, allow you guys to network with other men, talk to other men about their experiences that you could use to implement in your life. We're going to have food there, like O said, breath work, and it's just going to be an overall.
O going to get to walk us through one of those meditations he do every morning.
It's going to be an overall just community building event for men. So, ladies, sorry you can't come.
Nah, but fellas need this one.
All right. But with that said, man, really appreciate you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you are subscribed to us on all streaming platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Make sure you're following us on all social networks. We're also on Thread right now. All right, we're on Threads or Threads. Threads, yes. At Nice and Neat the podcast. On Instagram, TikTok as well. Follow myself on Instagram at Duke, Jalon at just.Jalon, and Omar.Bowden. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about this episode. What was your favorite part? What did you take away? And yeah, show some love.
One last thing, just a quick little check-in for our viewers. As we look at the analytics and data, which we tend to do from time to time, I see 51% of y'all are not subscribed. It costs you nothing to just hit the button, and it allows us to grow and flourish, and makes us just more excited to deliver more powerful and impactful content. So, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please hit that button below. And
That's it. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hunters, pledge allegiance, I stand.